Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Scott Howerson, and today we are going to be doing some lore, but we are not doing monster mythology lore today. Today we are going to be switching over to some new lore that I'm working on, and it is a Star Wars lore based off of the Fantasy Flight game, Edge of Empire, Age of Rebellion, and Force and Destiny. It is their Star Wars RPG system, and I think that it will be fantastic to talk about that stuff. I do realize there are piles and piles of lore videos out there on Star Wars. I get that, but I'm doing it specifically for this role-playing system. So if there's something that's wrong, it is not necessarily the lore that I'm telling you, because the lore I'm telling you is going to be out of the books, and it will be specifically for the role-playing system. I'm not going to give a whole lot of extended lore or non-canon lore or whatever else. I'm just going to give you the stuff out of the books. So with that said, the first thing we're going to talk about is a species from the world of Bothwai. And if you haven't guessed it yet, we're talking about Bothans. So Bothans primarily hail from Bothwai, which is a mid-rim world, a temperate world, by the way. They also have established major colonies on Kothlis and Taralis. Oof, I hope I'm not pronouncing those horribly bad. Bothese is the native tongue of the Bothans, and Botha is their written form. Almost all Bothans also are very fluent in what's basic, which would be common, or what I'm speaking now, English, or whatever primary language you want to consider but basic. Rendui, which in Bothan means non-verbal cues and emotions as a Bothan. Okay, Rendui is a non-verbal cue and emotion that Bothans can communicate through its fur. So Bothans have this little interesting thing they can do to communicate through its fur, and it has many coded forms that a spectator can translate into explicit information if the specific cipher is known. A well-trained Bothan spies can switch between different forms of Rendui in a single ripple of the fur. So that is fairly interesting. And that's why Bothans make great spies, politicians, thieves, scouts. Of course, while they're doing that, they're always trying to ascend the chain of command and further their career. They will funnel knowledge, of course, back to the Bothan spy network, which, of course, helps basically the planet of Bothwai. So yeah, Bothans are really interesting fellers. They we'll just say fellers. They also have highly attuned senses, more than some species. I guess when we're going to talk about this, we're going to be talking about compared to basic humans. Bothans have very highly attuned senses for gathering information or relaying information. One which we speak of, they can use their spoke of, which is where they can ripple their fur to communicate. They also have longer noses that are tapered that can distinguish many smells, so they can differentiate. It's like I don't want to say like a dog smell, but it's also along that lines where they can easily differentiate the different smells that they're around them. Their eyes have an extended range of focus, so they can see out. They focus farther out than the humans can, and they possess ears about double the size of most species, and they can rotate them around like a cat or a dog and kind of do like radar stuff. Not radar stuff, but they can rotate them around to hear things from all directions. They are about 1.6 meters or about 5'3" tall. Just didn't slip through cracks that never would fit a human. They're a very slender, very small species. All right, so we're going to talk about society. Every layer of Bothan society is based on acquisition, manipulation, and utilization of knowledge. They're sometimes likened to the Hutts in the Twilight. Bothans, of course, we'll take that as an insult. Prestige, not wealth, motivates them, which for the Hutts in the Twilight scene, the Hutts specifically, it's a lot of wealth. A Bothan's reputation is at the end of the day, all he has. The Bothan Council governs the Bothan worlds. The major clans all have representation on the council, kind of like a republic, I guess, which then elects chief, council chief, and Bothans do absolutely hate confrontation. They just don't like it. They shun it, and it's not fun for them. Bothans always treat information as their weapon and not just fighting. Violence. Bothans play secrets like Corellians play sabacc. The truth is the ace up their sleeve. As we all know, or as you do know, or I'm telling you, the Bothan operate the most elaborate and most expansive spy, or extensive, either way, spy network across the galaxy. It's called, basically, it's like Spynet, and it works through moles, sleepers, and drop-off points. It's just basically a giant spy network, so they can communicate and transfer information back to the home world, so they can know everything about everything. Some of the abilities Bothans start with in this particular role-playing system is Bothans begin the game with a rank and streetwise. So in the end, the Bothan is the atypical spy. It is a scout, a thief. Like I said, they don't like confrontation. They like to avoid confrontation, and they're just not a fighter. They're more of a spy. Information's power, and power is information. So that will be it for the Bothans. That's what they have on the Bothan, and that's what we're going to go with. Next week, we'll probably do something on a different species. And who knows, maybe a couple spin-off series will come out for this book so we can get some more information out there for you. But until next time, my name is Scott. You call me Guff, and may the force be with you.